I know many critics dislike this film, but I enjoy the heck out of it. Although I had my own issues and I'm gonna discuss them. Hello and welcome to another cozy movie review. Hope you have grabbed your cup of tea. This is a mug of tea though. It's not really a cup. Get comfortable because this is gonna be a long one again. I know most of my videos are quite long. This will be an interesting one for sure. So Napoleon is directed by Ridley Scott, as you all may know, and it's about the life of Napoleon Bonaparte, beginning from the French Revolution until his death. We follow him in his private life, but also in his battles. Now, before we get to analyzing the movie itself, I have to give you a bit of a film history lesson, so buckle up. Now, this is not the first movie that is made about Napoleon. There have been many films in which Napoleon as a character has appeared, but he hasn't been the main character, or the movie hasn't been entirely about him. But perhaps one of the best movies about Napoleon himself and about his life is Abel Gaunt's Napoleon, which came out in 1927. It's a silent movie and it's an epic one. The movie in general is very important in history of cinema, I should say, because it was way ahead of its time. It was the only movie that used polyvision, but why it was very far ahead from its time? Because of its fast cutting, extensive close-ups, a wide variety of handheld camera shots, location shooting, point of view shots, multiple camera setups, multiple camera exposures, superimposition, kaleidoscopic images, film tinting, split screen and mosaic shots, multi-screen projection, and other visual effects. So technically speaking, this movie was, and even to this day, it's one of a kind. Then we'll get to another important movie. This movie features Napoleon as one of the main characters, but not the main character. Because the movie isn't entirely about Napoleon, but it's about Napoleon's first love, Desiree. Now the movie is called Desiree, and it's based on a book by the same name written by Anne-Marie Selinko. So basically, as I told you already, the movie is about Desiree. She was Napoleon's first fiancée, and again, as declared by many, she was actually his first love before Josephine. And FYI, Marlon Brando portrays Napoleon in this movie. So here's another interesting movie if you want to check out. Another interesting fact that I should tell you is that even Stanley Kubrick wanted to make a huge movie about Napoleon, and by many it is considered one of the greatest movies that were never made. The movie is not really historically accurate, but at some point you see that it's trying. Now obviously, since this is a movie and we have a limited time, we cannot put every single detail in the film. And it's obvious that some of the parts of Napoleon's life will be skipped. But there are some things that are kinda important and shouldn't have been skipped. Now, as I told you, Desiree is an important character in Napoleon's life, and if you have watched the movie, you'll see that she's completely vanished from the story. Actually, Desiree is so important and she's very influential not only on Napoleon's life, but also on Josephine's life as well. So it's very weird that she is absent. Napoleon's sisters are also quite important in his life, but they're not really mentioned. They're only shown once without being mentioned that they're his sisters. And it's in the coronation scene that you will see them. Another historical issue that some may have is the way that he was banished to St. Helena Island. The way they showed it, it's not exactly how it happened. But apart from these, I'm not really here to nitpick, especially about the historical stuff, because again, I'm not a historian really. I just like history stuff, and these are some stuff that I already knew. But one other problem, and I can say it was quite a big problem that I had, was the choice that they made for Napoleon's mannerism, but I assume that the choices weren't entirely made by Joaquin Phoenix as the actor who portrays the character, but also by Ridley Scott and David Scarpa as the writer. Now, I found some of those choices quite odd. Sometimes Napoleon behaved like a child, especially when he was alone with Josephine, and I couldn't really understand the reason behind that choice. Because to me, it really felt weird and out of the character. But on the other hand, we really don't know what happens behind the closed doors. However, something that we know and we're quite sure of because it's been mentioned in the books is that although Napoleon was quite an arrogant character, he was very well mannered and not like it's shown in the movie, like as a rude person. Now let's talk about the stuff that I really enjoyed. Well, in all honesty, I have to say from technical standpoint and craftsmanship, this movie is just spectacular. The battle sequences are something that I haven't seen for years. They're just so grand and masterfully crafted. The acting is brilliant. Everybody's excellent. Especially our two main stars. Vanessa Kirby is very well cast as Josephine. She shines in the role literally. And her chemistry and romance with Joaquin Phoenix's Napoleon is just off the charts. And it can really be felt like it's that deep. Now, Joaquin Phoenix is also very well cast. To be honest, when I saw him on the screen with all those costumes and in those sequences, I just felt that the paintings that they have made from Napoleon, like the paintings have come to life. He became Napoleon, like he is Napoleon. That's how good he was in the role. Like his performance, the costume design and the production design all came together in such a spectacular way that it left me totally speechless. And that's why I think that the movie will most probably be nominated for costume design and production design, or maybe an acting nom as well. Another thing that really captured my attention is the score. For me, the score is very important. And here, Martin Phipps has done a great job capturing the Parisian and the French kind of music. It's just so amazing. And then add to that the epic tune for the battle sequences. It's really epic. Now overall, as I mentioned by the beginning of the video, I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm so happy that I got to experience it on the big screen. And that's why this is something that I would highly recommend you to go and watch it while it's still in the cinemas. But these are my thoughts. Tell me, what do you think about the movie? And if you know something more about the historical parts that I have missed or the movie has missed, make sure to comment them down below. Comment your opinion in general about the movie. And until the next Cozy Movie review. Bye.